Takes a minute.
You got it.
Okay, welcome. Good afternoon, good morning, and welcome. My name is Odell Gordon. I'll be your trainer for the next 3 hours. Just a little bit about my background. I've been in information technology for about 30 years now. I started out doing database work, some training, as well as some DevOps. Again, I'm in the Midwest, so I'm on Central Standard Time, and it's about to snow pretty soon here. So I hope you're in warmer climates. I also have someone here to assist me, one of my cohorts, John Meredith. And John, if you can go ahead and introduce yourself, that'll be great.
Good morning, folks from New Hampshire. So this is John Meredith. I'm one of the trainers here as well. And based on the East Coast here in sunny New Hampshire, where right now it's about 16 degrees Fahrenheit. So welcome. One of our requests of you, if you have questions, feel free to either ask them directly by your mic, or feel free to type them in the chat box, and I will be back here answering the questions hidden in the background. So thanks. Welcome to class.
Thank you, John. Good old New Hampshire. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I am going to cut my video off a little bit to release some of that bandwidth. So again, if you have questions, feel free to jump in the chat, or you can yell them out and John and I will get to you as soon as possible. All right. All right, so this is the Sumo Journalist Fundamental Certification. It is a 3-hour course. Let's go over what we're going to cover. So we're going to give you an overview of the Sumo Logic platform. Then we'll give you a demonstration on monitoring and troubleshooting. We'll then get into some hands-on where you can get your hands into the tool and start to view all of the data that's available to you, okay? Be able to search and parse and analyze through all of the data. You'll then also be able to analyze for trends. We'll also monitor critical events. Then we'll get into creating and modifying dashboards and setting up alerts. Then we'll give you enough time, 60 minutes, to get certified in the Sumo Journalist Fundamentals course. So this should be exciting for you. I often tell students, when you're learning something new, I am going to try to make it fun and mental. Hence, I'll teach you the fundamentals, okay? So we're going to build on that. Now, after you, once you register for our classes and you take the certification test, you attend the full session, you pass the certification exam, we're going to reward you. All you need to do is send your certification with your work email and your job title. Please remember, we need your job title there as well. You're going to send your certification to training-promotions@sumologic.com, okay? That will then allow us to send you that $15 Uber Eats voucher. So again, be excited about this. You're going to get something free. So let's go ahead and tackle into it. So how does Sumo Logic help me? So we're looking at it from each individual perspective. What we see now here is a set of dashboards, 4 dashboards. Let's focus on that. So right now we're looking at the Sumo Logic Continuous Intelligence Platform. Some of the dashboards that you could build in the tool are just examples at the top of the screen. So for example, As I mentioned, I worked in DevOps myself. I didn't have anything like the Sumo logic. When I came into the office in the morning, the first thing I did was I logged into the Unix console. I then had to find out where the logs were, and then I had to issue some greps. Greps is essentially allowing me to parse through that particular log. So it's very tedious. But if I had Sumo logic, when I came into the office in the morning, I could just look at a dashboard. For example, if I wanted to know, are all of the systems up? I could look at the operational intelligence dashboard. I also could find out if I had any meantime issues that I need to resolve. I can look at my operational dashboard. My security dashboard, security intelligence. Maybe I need to find out who's using the root user permissions. Maybe I need to find out who's logging into our intranet and from where, okay? Maybe I need to just find out if multiple locations are being logged in simultaneously. I can use my security intelligence dashboard. Now, you see over to the right here, the business intelligence. This is what pages are people frequently viewing on my website? Why are they ordering them? What are they ordering? Did we have a marketing campaign? Was it successful? So we can glean information from our business intelligence dashboard. And then finally, our global intelligence. This is how I'm doing compared to other companies, observing your data worldwide. So those are just examples of what you can build in our tool, those dashboards, okay? Now, just below that, you're gonna see your data. And when we talk about your data can be housed in a SaaS service. It could be a cloud system. It could be an app. It could be a third-party system. Your data resides somewhere and we're going to get access to it to allow you to query those logs. All right. Now let's go down to the next level here. Our analytics. We feature a multi-tenancy where our information is very secure. We take and we partner with our customers, especially when it comes to a cloud-based environment. If you need to scale up or scale out, we will meet your requirements, okay? You'll see machine learning capabilities in our tool, and you'll see application programming interfacing capabilities, APIs, okay? There's gonna be advanced analytics that we're gonna demonstrate as well. And then finally, when we talk about that security and monitoring, if you take a look over to the right there, you'll see that our attestments we take very, very seriously. We have been SOC 2 certified, FedRAMP certified, HIPAA certified. Our certifications are up to date. And again, we partner with our customers to make security a priority. Finally, down at the bottom there, you're seeing where that continuous intelligence platform is going to be shared across all lines of your business. Basically meaning you can achieve continuous collaboration across customer success, security operation, DevOps, with insights being shared from a single source to facilitate collaboration. So again, a single source where the entire company will be brought up to the intelligence platform level. All right, so that was just a high level of what you can do, your data and how we get access to it, what our tool provides, and how it's going to address in your environment. Questions? All right, I see John is answering some of those questions in the chat. That's awesome. All right, now, when we talk about monitoring and troubleshooting, which is probably some of your roles, okay? Our system allows you to set up alerts. If you notice down on the left-hand side, you see that we have different types of webhooks that you can set up your alerts for. For example, you can do a Slack alert. You can do a ServiceNow alert. Okay, so again, PagerDuty alert. We have those connectivities. You're seeing on this screenshot alerts, metrics, and logs. Okay, let me give you an example of some of the things that I had to do in a day-to-day environment before I became a Sumo user. Okay, now each morning, as I mentioned, I come into the office and I look at my Unix console and I log in. Well, here's another approach using our system. We can set up alerts. So we set up some alerts, and I'm going to share that with you right now. So just kind of bear with me. So here we are. We set up alerts, and hopefully you're seeing my screen now. We set up a Slack alert for our servers. I'm a travel agency, okay? We have a travel logic tool, and this is a hypothetical situation that I'm drawing for you. We have a travel logic tool. This is where others are able to book their travel, their car rentals, their flights, their hotels, okay? Now, I'm a DevOps. I have to make sure that that environment is up and running, okay? Now, one of the things that our company did was we set up a Slack alert. I see that server 8 and 9 have issues. I'm going to look at server 8. Okay, I'll click on that. This is one of the alert messages that I receive in the morning. And I go down to my latest message and I see, hey, that there was something going on. I have an outlier problem on prod 8. So my production has an issue. Okay. Now, this is an alert system that I set up. Another approach, and I'll get into the tool and kind of show you what I mean. You're going to get your hands wet. Just let me go through the demo real quickly. It's only a couple of minutes and then we'll get your hands wet. All right. I'm going to log into the tool. And again, as I mentioned, I often come into work and I look at my monitoring system and I notice that, hey, there was an issue. Another approach is I could have come into the actual Sumo Logic tool as well, and I could have went to a dashboard. And I'll talk about this environment. Don't worry about it. I'll talk about this environment shortly, okay? So I could have went to a dashboard and let me go, sorry, I'm in the wrong environment. Let me get in my training environment. Now, this is a great teachable moment here as well. So right now you're in the Sumo Logic platform. Over here is the navigation center, this panel, pardon me. I'm in the main menu. This is where I would log off. Right now I'm in the training environment. I'm gonna log into my demo environment. You won't have this, but I'm letting you know there's multiple instances that we have in our training environment that I have capabilities to. So that's why I'm demonstrating that to you. So what I'm doing is I'm logging into the demo instance, okay? Now, as I mentioned, I could have came into my production environment as I did before and looked at my operations and looked at my overall dashboard. So if I go in here and look at my system dashboard, I can see I have 4 across and 3 down, 12 panels. So this is within the tool. Let's think of a traffic light. Green is good, red is bad. Yellow, a warning, okay? So we see immediately red. All right, now, let me digress for a moment. Initially, we said that we could set up a Slack alert, okay? And I came in the prod 8 and I see that there's an issue. I could have clicked right here on Go Operational Overview. That would have brought me to the same place. Give it a second here. So you'll see those same 12 panels. So 6 in one half, half a dozen the other, whichever method you choose. Odell, I'm kind of lost. What's going on? So I am demonstrating how I come into the Travel Logic tool. Excuse me, I come in the morning into the office, and I can either A, look at my Slack alert, or B, I can come into the Sumo Logic tool and open up the operational dashboard. Okay. So again, both of those get me to the same place. As I mentioned, green is good, red is bad. So if we look here, we see that each one of these panels represents something. So I can see my reporting nodes, my Redis issues, my checkout service, my database issues. Anything here in green is good. So again, we want to focus on the red. One of the things I want to look here is I see my checkout is in red. I'm a travel company. If customers have problems with checkout, it's going to be an issue, a nightmare. So I'm in DevOps. I want to investigate. So I'll click on that particular panel. It allows me to drill through. So there's a technique that you can build within the tool. You can build drill throughs from one dashboard to another. Now that drill through off of that one panel, that one dashboard gives me 6 other panels. So on this particular, I can look at my bookings, my errors in the last 7 days, my errors across the nodes, my latency, and my memory. Be aware that you also have the ability to interact with your panels. So your legends allow you to click on and click off. So if I wanted to see all my failures, I turned off the successes. Now I can take a look at my bookings, and everything was fine till about 9:04. We started receiving messages all the way up until that period there. Okay. So about 9:20. All right. So I can also see down here in my latency, there's an issue where there's some peaks. All right. So I can see right around that same period. I also see that there was some errors on our nodes. Now, one more thing I want to kind of share with you. Well, hold on. We got quite a few going on here. All right. I'm just checking the questions to make sure. John, are you okay?
All good, my friend.
All right, good, good. Just making sure. I see it was bombarded with questions there. No worries. All right, so again, we're demonstrating possibilities of the Travel Logic environment, and we drilled to this next dashboard. Now, I want to digress again and show you another instance. Now, remember, we set up Slack alert. We clicked on the Go Operational. That took us to the 12 panel dashboard. We could have also clicked on the go to service detail. When I click on that, guess what it's going to do? The exact same thing. It's going to take me to that lower dashboard, the one we drilled into. So again, I set up alerts to take me to the dashboard, or I can come in the actual tool and go to the dashboard. All right, so let's continue on. So I look here and I see spikes up here in my CPU and my total memory, okay? I want to investigate about this particular memory and CPU. So there's no drill capability on this. This is the lowest layer, but I do want to see the underlying query. So in the top right corner, there's a little icon that says show in metrics. When I click on that, it launches a new tab. So let me go over this kind of quickly as well. I want to show you the environment at a high level. So I opened up that initial search. Oops, sorry, I opened up that initial dashboard. Here it is. It's still a tab. I then went to that drilled in. It's still a tab. Then I drilled in on the show metric. It's another tab. I'm emphasizing that so you'll be aware that it's going to be a tab-based environment. So what you're seeing here is an actual diagram of your metrics. So here's what we actually saw. Down below, you'll see the actual metric. So I'm looking at CPU and I'm looking at memory, okay? And then at the very bottom, you'll see the actual query, okay? Now, one of the things that you can do in the tool here you'll notice that I'm looking at minute increments. So at 9:06, I had 220 messages, 223 at 9:07. So these are minute increments of my messages. What I'd like to do is look at the query for that particular instance. So a technique that you can use your left mouse and the shift key. That's going to launch and open up another tab that brings up the query. Odell, you lost me. What happened? Well, remember we were in the metrics tab. It gave us the actual diagram of the peaks. Down at the bottom, it gave us the actual metrics that we're viewing and the actual query. All we did was click on one instance, hold down our shift key, and it brought up the actual query expression. Now, let's kind of take a look at this expression. It's reading, hey, your source category is equal to prod. I'm looking for errors and exceptions. So what you're seeing here is 220 results. It's actually done gathering results. You see I have page 1 of 9 pages, and it is displaying or highlighting errors and exceptions. Errors and exceptions, all right? Now I'm interested, and again, our goal here, ladies and gentlemen, what's the purpose of this here demo, is to investigate what the problem is. All right, so I've taken off the errors and checkouts. I want to see all of my messages. So I remove that expression and I'm going to run it with the blue arrow. When I run it with the blue arrow, so I'm seeing it's done gathering. It now has 670 results, and I have one of 27 pages, okay? I see that there's 25 per page, all right? So what I've done here is I've just ran all of my messages, okay? Now, there's 27 pages of 25 items per page. I would like the tool to reduce these messages. Now, here's some of that machine language. So the tool is actually now going through those pages and looking for common expressions. So I can see first, here's my expression. It's using an operator called log reduce. Odell, how did that get there? That's happened when I clicked on the log reduce button here, okay? It launched a new tab. Now, let's look at what it did for us. It says, Odell, you have 2 pages, okay? And it says, Odell, in your log messages, you're gonna see this expression 245 times. You're gonna see this one 86 and so forth and so on. So what the log reduced for me, it shrunk down my log messages to, I won't have to look at each row because I know that this is done so many times. Now, again, our goal is to find out what the issue is. So you notice you have 2 tabs. You have your original messages, that has the original message, and then you have a signatures. That signatures tab was automatically created when we did the log reduce. Some of the power in the tool is you have the ability to, if you look at your column headers, you can change the sort. So right now it's sorting in descending. If I click it one time, it's in ascending, all right? So I'm gonna go through here and look through some messages, and I'm gonna find out eventually, this one here is just, looks like informational, but let's look here. It says info, boot, travel logic, starting cluster, prod 8, because we're in a production environment. That's perfect. Service checkout, version 1.1.4 dev. Okay, so, wait a minute. Info, boot, travel logic, starting. Does anyone see anything wrong with this expression? Anyone see anything wrong with that? This particular one that I'm looking at. Ah, excellent, Jeffrey. Jeffrey said it. He yelled out first, so free bonus break for him at about 15 minutes. All right, great job, Jeffrey, thank you. So Jeffrey said, you're on a production. It should say It should say production. So right here, ladies and gentlemen, it says cluster prod service checkout version 1.14. So someone promoted a dev option in a production environment. So we were able to narrow down by doing those several steps and getting you a resolution. Question? All right. So that was our demo example. Hopefully it kind of helped you get a good feeling about it. Adrian, we're going to do a parse coming up. So if you could just hold on and I'll address your question when we get to that parse section. Good question, though. I'll get there. All right. So back here. So what I've just shown you was I demonstrated a dashboard that had alerts set up. We were able to use our metrics to find out what was going on. We queried our log to identify why it was happening. All right. Now, let's talk about how we're going to get access to your data. Okay. And I want to give you a scenario. I want to draw a scenario in your mind. Okay. Our Sumo Logic tool is cloud-based, and we want to build a highway to get to your data, access to your data. So we're going to have a highway built. All right. Now, the mechanism that we're going to use to get your data into our Sumo Logic environment is called a collector. Okay. That collector defines sources. So where your logs and your metrics reside. So on this information highway, we're using a vehicle called a collector that gets data to our Sumo Logic cloud environment. Once you have your data collectors defined and the sources defined, then that will allow us to search and analyze using operators and charts. And then we'll be able to build a visualization like you saw, where we have dashboards and alerts. So that's the flow that we're going to follow. That's what you just saw me demonstrate, and that's what we're going to build. Now, we don't get into depth about creating collectors. There's a class for you to come back to. It's the administration class. In that class, we actually go through creating collectors and using and defining sources. So make sure you come back and take our actual administration course. All right, so here's a busy slide. Don't let it overwhelm you, okay? So remember I was talking about that information highway. So here it is. There's Sumo Logic in the cloud. This slide is actually can be broken down into two halves. On the left half, you see your installed collectors, and on the right half, you see your hosted collectors. So let's talk about the left half. Now, again, in the administration course, you're going to learn about building collectors and installing them. We'll talk about that in that class. But over here, we see we have a collector installed on each device server, okay? That's a distributed install, okay? We also down at the bottom, we have a single installation of a collector. So that acts as an air traffic controller. So a single install versus a multiple install. That's the left side. That's called installed collectors. You're going to install them. They're usually Java agents that wake up, and I'll tell you more about those shortly, okay? Now let's look at the right side. If your logs or your metrics are stored in AWS or SaaS, or they're in Okta or in a Microsoft Azure, then you have a hosted collector. That means that the collector is already existent. All we need is the definition and security rights to get access to it. So again, you got installed and hosted collectors. You want to learn more about that? Come to our administration course. Again, we're talking about that information highway, how to get data. We're talking about collectors. All right. Now, Odell, what's a collector? That's a great question. It's a metadata tag. It's a name given to a description. Okay. For example, you see at the very top, there's the collector metadata tag, and we would give it a description. Maybe it's our default host name. Now that's kind of broad for us to get down to a log or a metric file. Okay, but you could use that. Another example is you could use the source name. Maybe you're going to define the name and the path of the log file. You could use that as well. But our best practice is in bold at the bottom of the screen. That tag is referred to as the source category, where you're going to freely configure it. Notice here we have labs, Apache, access. Remember, we could be in a production or development environment, but we chose the labs environment. So we designated where our actual file is. That's what we're going to use throughout this course, the source category metadata tag. All right, so finally, we get a chance to get our hands wet, all right? Now, what I want you first to do, each of you, I need you to think of a 3-digit number, okay? That 3-digit number can be from 1 to 999. Once you make your 3-digit number selection, please do us a big favor and add it to our chat so we can keep track of your numbers. Yeah. Awesome, awesome sauce. Very good. All right, now, again, you've chosen your number. I don't want you to do anything but watch right now, okay? So I'm just gonna launch my environment. Let me get over here real quick. I'll log out. You're gonna do exactly what I'm doing, so just bear with me here. So I am going to log in just as you, okay? Training. Don't do it now, just watch me first. Training, analyst. And then I'll put my number at sumologic.com. And then the password, I'll share it with you, just be patient. Now, the cool thing I like about this is whenever they have, you get in a tool and you can't see your password, I hate that, but this tool has that. So I want you all to go ahead using your 3-digit number, launch, make sure you're using the correct URL, and we've put in your chat these same instructions, okay? So go ahead and log in, and I would like for you to all help me and confirm that you've logged in successfully. There's quite a few of you, so I want to make sure we logged in successfully. You can use your chat and let me know that you've logged in. All right, thank you. Let us know if you have any problems. If you logged in and it failed, maybe the number you're using someone else used, no issues. You can always use another number. All right, just giving a few more of you a chance to confirm that you've logged in. We want to make sure that everybody's up to this point.
Can you post the ID on the screen? It's hard to find in the chat.
Okay. So can you see it now? So the ID is going to be training, excuse me, this is the wrong one. Training analyst, and put your number there. Sumo Logic, and then the password. Hope that helps. All right. Again, you're confirming that you're in, and if you have any problems, please let us know in the chat.
If somebody else has logged in with the same number, will that forbid anyone from else logging into the same account?
Yeah, just choose another number. Yep.
Yeah, I'm logged in. I just want to make sure no one else is using the same number.
They wouldn't, yeah, they wouldn't be able to use it. Good question. All right, so it looks like
What is the password?
the password right here is Feb, uppercase F, 2022 exclamation mark. So Feb 2022. Go ahead with your question. Lakshmi, you got a question?
Folks, if you're getting a message that says, please verify your credentials, that means something's wrong with your email or your password. So try a different number and see if that works. If not, check, make sure you put @sumologic.com as the email address. Check the password, make sure you got the exclamation mark at the end, stuff like that. So little things.
All right, looks like we got a lot of you in. That's good. That's awesome sauce. So let me get my screen back to where you should be. Okay. Your
Again, if you
dad,
have problems logging in, let us know in the chat.
yep, thank you. So you are on the landing page of the Sumo Logic tool. Yours may look like mine or it may not, okay? I want to we're just going to kick the tires, look under the hood, roll the windows down, and things of that sort, okay? Let me just take a look here and see what Lee, you're getting, what's your message that Lee says he's getting problems logging in. What's your message that you're getting, Lee?
The credential one. I've tried several numbers.
Okay. Then you probably typed something in incorrectly. So the email address, what do you have there? What does it say?
Training plus analyst. I'll just paste it.
Okay. Training plus analyst, what 3-digit number are you using?
I used 888.
Okay. At sumologic.com, right?
Right, I just put it in the
Okay,
chat.
I see that. And then what's the password that you typed in?
Uppercase FEB 2022. Bang.
An exclamation mark, right? Okay, good. That should work unless there's any spaces or something in there. It should be fine. The password is case sensitive. The username is not. So that should work. The other thing, did you go to service.sumologic.com? You're not trying to go into your environment, correct?
Right.
Okay. That should work.
Well, looks like you were magic because now it works. Okay.
Hey,
Okay.
there you go.
John with that magic wand in his pocket.
Right.
Good job.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you.
Okay. And also a couple folks are getting issues with credentials. Again, if you're getting to verify your credentials, it means either your email is wrong or your password is wrong. It's that simple. You could try a different number, which is all fine, well and good. Okay. You misspelled Sumo Logic. In the email address, you got SUMOLGOIC. That's not correct. It should be SUMOLOGIC. And then somebody asked about a copy of the slides. We'll get to that in just a little bit. Bear with us. And just trying to take care of these questions real quick.
Samuel, what's your login issue that you're having? I'll paste again in here the actual expression. You can actually copy it if you could.
Okay. Somebody asked, can 2 of us use the same digits? Yes, you can. Okay, it's not a big deal. But obviously 10 of you with the same digits might get a little mucky in performance. So yes, people can log in with the same number. It's not the end of the world. We obviously would prefer everybody use a unique number, but it's not, like I said, it's not a big deal.
Right, it's a training environment, so you're okay.
Yep.
All right, let's continue on. I know some of you have problems. John will kind of tackle that in the chat.
Samuel, the problem you have is you put training plus analyst 784 ###. Get rid of those ###. Get rid of those hashtags at sumologic.com. Those hashtags will be replaced with the 784 number. And that should work, Samuel. That should take care of you. It's like folks are getting in. Excellent. Good job, folks. Odell, back to you, buddy.
Thank you, sir. All right, let's get started here. We're going to kick the tires, look under the hood, walk around the car. All right, so again, your dashboard, your landing page may look similar to mine. Right up to where you see the word Sumo Logic, there's a hamburger, 3 lines there. Go ahead and click on that. What that does is that brings your navigation panel visible. Okay, if you wanted to hide it, you would use that arrow to hide your navigation panel. Under the Sumo Logic logo, you'll see 4 icons. One is your recents folder. What have you recently opened? The other is your favorites folder. What have you favored? The other is your personal folder. What have you saved and stored? And then finally, your library folder. What is out there for you to consume or share or look at, okay? Each one of these icons has bubble helps when you hover over them, okay? Down below, you'll see a set of links. We refer to this area as our main menu. Again, our main menu, all right? Over to the right, you see a house, you see a folder, and you see a bell. The house is your landing page. That's where you're gonna come and see most stuff all the time when you log in here. The folder, again, that's gonna be your library of objects. And then the bell is your alerts, okay? Let's all make sure we're on the home icon, all right? Now, under the home icon, you have 3 links. You have a home link, which is, again, your recently opened dashboards, your recently opened searches. You may not have anything, okay? So that's your recent, but you're gonna see under your home, okay? Next to that, you'll see a learn, which is gonna be very instrumental to you and us in this class. So what you see at the top of the learn is videos on topics that you may be interested in, okay? Down below, you'll see what we're gonna use. We're gonna follow these fundamental hands-on lab steps. When you come back to take the administration course, again, you're gonna follow these. We're gonna follow these hands-on lab administration steps, okay? Over to the right, you'll see 6 icons, okay? There's a cheat sheet. That cheat sheet is going to be a resource for you when it comes to creating expressions. So when you create queries, we have a cheat sheet out there that some of the stuff that you want to do is already done. So go out there and take a look at the cheat sheet. Our entire full documentation is available for you by clicking on the docs, okay? It's a very good practice to keep in knowledge of what's coming down the line. So knowing what's new. Underneath that, you'll see ask our support. You can always ask our support by clicking on that button there. Now, I want to spend a few seconds on this get trained. When we click on that get trained, that launches our educational LMS system, our portal, okay? And if you want to come out here and find out when is the next fundamentals course or the next administration course, you can come out here and take a look by going to the actual get trained, okay? Notice what happened when I launched that. It opened up a new tab. My existing tab is still there, so I can toggle between those tabs. I'm done with the LMS, the education portal, so I'll close that. And I'm back here where I was. And then finally over to the right, you'll see the community. The community there is very resourceful. One of the things you can do here on the community is you can find out more information that other Sumo users are sharing, okay? So again, this is your learn link under your home tab. All right, questions? All right, looks good. All right, now let's click on the certification. Once we complete our lecture and our labs, then you're gonna come out here and get certified. So you're under your home tab, you're clicking on the certification link, and you'll click get certified. Now you won't go through with this all the way, ladies and gentlemen. This is a training environment. So you're logged in as a training analyst. So when you talk about getting certified, you don't want to log in and get certified as a training analyst. When it gets time to take the actual exam, I'll talk more about that, okay? But again, right now we're logged in as a training user, All right.
Odell, would you show them where the recorded live training is and where they can get the slides and the information for
Oh,
this?
yeah,
class?
very good. Yeah, so again, right here where you see it, very good, John, thank you. A lot of you have been asking about that. So let me go back to how did I get here? All right, so again, I was in my certification here. I went get certified. It launched a new tab. And right here, I can go to my recorded live trainings. Okay, so whatever training you've taken, you can come out here and get that training. Okay.
Odell, go and click into that, please. Click into the fundamentals class, please.
All right.
Thanks. And then, you can register here. It's quick, easy. Go ahead real quick, Odell. Now, there's where the recording is, as well as where the slides and stuff are. We have a PDF and stuff with the slides and the lab guide. So that's the information. A lot of you have asked about where the slides are, where the recording is. That's where that stuff is.
Thank you. So again, you click on your discipline. Let me do that one more time to make sure everybody got where we are. So we launched our LMS system. We came into record live training, clicked on that. You have to actually click on the discipline that you want the video and the items for. So I clicked on fundamentals, and a few people are still joining, but over here to the right, you'll see my Cert Jam and my lab. Thanks, John, for pointing that out for me. Good job. All right. So again, that was kicking the tires. We kind of went around the wheel. Any questions there? All right. So before we start this lab, let's go ahead and take a quick 5-minute break. I'll put the timer up and I'll see you in 5 minutes